Well, now let's look at what happens when a partner is retiring from the firm. A partner may retire from a firm by giving a notice saying his intention to leave to all the other partners, or with the consent of all the other partners, a partner may retire, or if the partnership was a specific partnership, at the end of its object completion, a partner may retire. Well, when the partner leaves or when the partner retires, the interesting part is what is his rights and liabilities after he retires. Well, the liabilities can be further divided into two phases. One is the liability acquired before his retirement, or second was the liability acquired after his retirement. So let's understand if the liability was acquired before his retirement. Well, in such a case, the general rule is that the retiring partner would continue to be liable unless he is discharged from the liability. If we remember from our example, ABC were partners since 5 years, and since 5 years they were doing business, and they had a creditor, Mr. X, whom they had to pay 30,000. But instead of Z's admission this time, we'll be studying what happens if Mr. A retires. So, can Mr. X ask his dues from B and C and also A even after A's retirement? Well, what is the general rule? The general rule is if the liability was acquired before the partner's retirement, the partner will still continue to be liable even after his retirement. And as per the general rule, Mr. A will be liable. But what if on Mr. A's retirement, Mr. X, B and C, all of them agree to discharge Mr. A from the liability? In such a case, Mr. X would not be liable to ask his dues from Mr. A anymore. He can only ask from the continuing partners, that is B and C. Now let's look at the liabilities acquired by the firm after a partner's retirement. Well, the general rule here is that partners would not be liable for any acts of the firm after his retirement if, and this is a really big if, right? He will not be liable for any acts of the firm after his retirement if he has, or anyone from the firm has, given a public notice of his retirement. Once the public notice is out, then no way a retiring partner can be held liable for the acts of the firm after his retirement. One more important thing to remember is, do you remember that for a sleeping partner, it was not necessary to give a public notice on his retirement? And even though he does not give a public notice, he would not be liable for the acts of the firm after his retirement. So a sleeping partner just needs to retire. After that, he does not need to give any public notice, and still he would not be liable to any outsiders. Well, the point here does not only relate to sleeping partner, but the point is important for every partner in a way that, suppose ABC, all of them were active partners. One day C retired and did not give a public notice for this. After his retirement, one day A and B found a new creditor, Mr. X. He never knew about C, used to be a partner. He only used to deal and know A and B. Now, Mr. X cannot compel C for any dues, just on the basis that on his retirement he did not give a public notice, as Mr. X never even knew C was a partner. So the point here that we are putting forward is, usually why does a partner need to give a public notice when he retires? Is because when he is a partner somewhere, people trust on such person and do business with the partnership. And if such person would not be there, they would not do the business with them. So when such person goes, they expect that at least he gives us an information through the public notice that, hey, I am leaving the firm now. If you wish, you can still work with the firm. So now it's upon the other parties to decide whether they would like to work with the new reconstituted firm or not. But if a partner who we trusted and because of whom we were doing the business with the firm left the firm without giving us a notice, how would we come to know he has left the firm? We would still be thinking that, hey, that guy is in the firm, don't worry. He would honor the deal. He would pay for any losses if incurred to me. But later on, you find out that that person has left. So, this is why a public notice is required. But here, as Mr. X never trusted on Mr. C and did the business through Mr. C, because he never knew C was a partner. Because when he started dealing with the firm, only A and B were the partners. C was never known to him. So, C giving the public notice to him or not giving the public notice does not matter to Mr. X. So, on retirement, generally a partner is liable for all the acts undertaken by the firm till the date he gives the public notice. But we have to remember that a sleeping partner cannot be made liable after their retirement, as they need not give a public notice at all. And we also need to take care that only the known, the trusted retiring partners can be held liable for the dues of the firm after his retirement. If he forgets to give public notice, then I can ask him to be liable to me. If he was never known to me, then I actually don't care about whether did he give a public notice or did he not give a public notice, because I never knew such person existed in the partnership and I never did the business with the partnership for that trust. Now let's look at the rights of the retiring partner. Good thing is that we already know this. The first right is that a retiring partner can carry on a competing business. Well, of course we studied this, and we also know that he cannot use the same name, nor can he solicit the clients, and definitely not represent himself as the partner of the firm anymore. Second right is the right to share profits. If the partner retired by death, upon his death, the final settlement is not done with his legal executives. Then he is entitled, the legal executive is entitled for a higher share of profit or interest at 6% on the final settlement amount until it is settled.